Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. I took a break yesterday and it was a much needed break with all the energies, all the excitement and stress and worry from the royal front, and also of course the full moon and the eclipse energies that I was feeling very powerfully. It's beginning to dissipate now for me, and so I'm back at the tarot table with the Shadowland Tarot, which is always a clue that we are going to look at Harry most likely with this tarot deck, and we are traveling to Montecito today. It's time to dip in to the energy over there. Well, wherever he is, Harry, who knows? And we're going to see how he's doing. According to the press, he offered to step in after Catherine's cancer diagnosis was made known to the world, but his offer was emphatically rejected with the idea that it would just make things worse. Trust has been completely broken, which is why he wasn't informed before everyone else was informed, and he found out along with everyone else when it became breaking news on television. And so we're going to have a look at this. We're hearing that from people like Hugo Vickers, a royal biographer, Harry's return right now, because there's been speculation that he might jump on a plane like he did with his father. His return would be a nasty distraction. That's how Hugo Vickers describes it. Other people talking about broken trust, and of course now we understand why the royal website was updated and the Parkles were downgraded to former royals, and now go and find them on their own website and no way back. Very clear that he's not wanted, it's not welcome, he's out. And we hear from the Daily Mail that William and Catherine have put the Harry problem to the back of their minds during this cancer crisis and have no plans for reconciliation. So pretty clear where things stand with the royal family. How does he feel right now? That's the Eight of Wands that's come out in reverse. How does he feel? Isolated, alone? Does he feel any remorse, any regret? Is he upset? Is he indifferent? What's going on with him? We're going to do a Celtic cross and have a look and see how he felt when that news broke. How does he really feel about the Princess of Wales and her diagnosis? They were once very close. He considered her a sister, and that all changed, of course, when he found himself a wife from California. So that's what we're looking at today, just generally Celtic cross. And I think we've got our shuffle. Yeah, cards are just collapsing all over the place. We're not looking at herself, not yet. We're going to get there in the next reading. Harry's wife. One more shuffle apparently. Let's do it. Let's remind you, it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all speculation. It's all my opinion. I just read energy here, archetypal energy, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. So let's see how the has-been is doing. Not welcome, not wanted, not trusted. Don't bother to come back. He would be a nasty distraction. We've put you to the back of our minds. We are indifferent and we don't care, and too bad. Go away and stay away. Queen of Pentacles. And that is the underlying energy. Sorry about the dog barking in the background. It's dog walking time, and there's often little spats in the road when they meet on corners and exchange insults. I no longer have a dog to exchange insults. I will get there again, but not yet. Queen of Pentacles, that is Catherine's energy. That is who she is. She's a Capricorn lady, and there she is, the loyal, the faithful, the trustworthy, the one who provides generous support, the one who's very grounded, very earth mothery, very as I say, very supportive, and she was always very supportive of Harry. And I could see, as a tarot reader, I could see the energy changing from the early days of this channel, when she was still supportive of him and still hoping that he would come to his senses and come back to the person that she thought he was. Instead, what happened, in my opinion, is that he revealed his true nature to her. But there she is. She has shown up as the underlying energy of this reading. So let's see the situation that the has-been finds himself in right now. Yeah, the worry card, the stress, the anxiety, the sleepless nights. So this is hit hard. Whatever else happens in this reading, that is the central issue, the story that we are here to read on. Very, very worried about the Queen of Pentacles. Very worried. This hit home. Other things, I think his father's illness might have hit home, but there's a lot of unkind speculation about the fact that he might have been more worried about father abdicating and then having to deal with Prince William. All of that kind of speculation. But this is tremendous stress. Can't sleep. Worst nightmare. I think it's triggering for him as well, actually, with that, the energy that's coming off that card for me, given his own childhood and his own past and his own loss that he still hasn't processed, in my opinion. What's the problem? The problem is the Six of Pentacles. That's the generosity and Queen of Pentacles. She is very generous, very kind, very supportive, and that's the equal give and take card. And he knows that he has not been fair to her. He's allowed things to go unchallenged, the racism accusations, first of all on Oprah, the who made who cry thing. He's never, ever, ever come to her defense since his wife appeared on the scene. And now he is feeling it with that Six of Pentacles, because how does he restore the balance? How does he fix this situation? All the times that untruths about her went unchallenged. He allowed her reputation to be damaged. It's not normally for me a reputation card, but we're talking about reciprocity here. She was always generous and kind and faithful and loyal to him. He was not. He did not reciprocate. That is what that Six of Pentacles is telling me. That is what's keeping him awake at night, tossing and turning. What am I going to do? So what's going on behind the scenes right now for the has-been? And we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. This is the collapse card. Upright, the Nine of Wands is somebody who's barricaded themselves, got their guard up, ring-fenced themselves, boundaries. They're making their last stand. They are tired. They are in battle. They are wounded. Always with the Nine of Wands. Somebody who has potentially got some sort of head wound, traditionally in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and it's often read as a card depicting some sort of mental disorder. I'm choosing my words very carefully, but it's in reverse, and when the card flips into the reverse, the energy flips over, and it's somebody who just can't take another blow, and they collapse, they fall down. And he really, two cards that are telling me that he's almost at the end of being able to deal with this. Nine of Swords upright, Nine of Wands in reverse. This is somebody who's on the brink, if not already pushed into a state of crisis. He's well on his way. And I have to say that in my little world, and seemingly in the big world around, the energy that we're in at the moment with the eclipses and the full moon and the coming new moon, very much people who are in a fragile state are really being challenged and really being pushed to the brink. And that is, for me, what is going on with Harry. For me, of course, as an energy reader, what's his mind on right now, his goal, his focus. And we have the Magician in reverse. He knows he's not going to be able to magic this away. He would like to. He would like to be able to manifest something, to announce something, and they're quite good at this, the Parkles. I think he's learnt from his master's knee, the sorcerer's apprentice, shall we say. A little bit of snark there, because the magician is a sorcerer, and he's learnt that the power of magical thinking. You can just announce something and then it becomes true. Not now. He's not going to be able to just manifest something magically now. And that would, of course, be the half in, half out. Return to the UK, do a bit of light roiling, be the hero of the hour, come to save the royal family in the midst of their cancer crisis. No. Magician in the reverse. This is not going to happen. And it's also PR and spin, of course, the magician card in these royal readings. And how's he going to spin this? It's not going to look good. No matter what he does now, it's looking terrible. They put out that very cold statement, a kind of a one-liner. They reduced her to Kate Middleton again, I think, or just Kate. They were the Duke and Duchess. She was just Kate. And wished her a very cold, healing message. There was no love expressed. There was no concern for the family, the children, Prince William. There was no bygones be bygones and we're sorry, and none of that. It was so cold. And of course, if he can read, I'm not sure how literate he is, but if he's able to read, then he would be able to open, for instance, the Daily Mail or the New York Post online and see scathing headlines, or Australian television where somebody was able to call them the Montecito Snakes and get away with it, and was very triumphant about it and very pleased on Twitter, and everybody else applauding and saying, well done. So there you go. It can't be very easy for him right now. So how did he feel when he heard the news? Like the rest of us, King of Cups in reverse. This is very upset. And also knowing that he is out, because the King of Cups is Prince William, of course. Also Pa, but more Prince William. In the old days, just a few years ago, Harry would have been the first person that Prince William would have told, long before he told any of us. And now that King of Cups is cold as ice towards him, and he knows it. Well, he knew it in that moment, that shocking moment when he heard the news. All the sugars were fueled by this notion that terrible things were going on in the Wales marriage, and maybe a divorce or something like that was going to be announced, and Harry and Meghan would be installed in their Wales's place as the successors to the throne. But no, what happened instead was the truth of the situation was revealed, the very difficult and tragic truth. It's hopefully not tragic, but upsetting. And he knows he's out with Prince William, and for himself, if you read the King of Cups energy as his own energy in reverse, out of control emotions, he wouldn't have known what to do with himself. He may well have cried. He may well have really been very triggered by this. It's the second time in this reading that I'm getting the energy that he has been extremely triggered by this. What is coming next for him? Future energy. The Seven of Wands is very similar to the Nine of Wands in reverse. Seven of Wands in reverse. Always in these cards, these Shadowland Tarot, that card for me is Meghan. The Seven of Wands, fire sign woman, with her back to us, with the long hair and the pointy shoes and the umbrella. She's in reverse. It's the card of vulnerability, of being unable to defend yourself when it's in reverse. What they have done, Harry and Meghan, is indefensible, and it is going to become increasingly obvious in the near future, and it may become increasingly obvious because of the topic of the second reading I'm going to do today, which is about a certain account on Twitter. We're going to also look in coming days at the stories around the bots and a certain person who is behind the possibly some of the unpleasantness allegedly around bots. We're not going to mention him here today, don't feel like it, but that is wrongdoing that leaves them exposed, vulnerable, unable to justify what they have done. Both of them, Harry and Meghan. And I'm drawn back to this Magician in reverse, the trickster energy, the PR energy in reverse. Some concern that some of what they have done that has been rather tricky, let's just say, picking my words very carefully, might be exposed. And in the coming days, near future energy with that Seven of Wands in reverse, it does look as if some wrongdoing is going to be exposed and they are not going to be able to defend themselves with that Seven of Wands in reverse. So how does Harry feel about Catherine's illness? Repurpose this Celtic cross as I often do. How does he feel about it? Eight of Wands. He wants to talk to her. First thing he wanted to do was he wanted to talk to her, get on the phone, send her a message. I'm sure back in the day there was back and forth all the time. Chat, probably jokes, probably quite crass. I think he operates at that kind of level. Lots of memes, lots of silly things, jokes. There are people, I have people in my life that operate, that's their conversation. And I'm sure that that's Harry's conversation of just communicating through funny ha-ha stuff. And I think he just wanted to do that. And we heard that they had reached out through privately, Harry and Meghan. There was no announcement that they had actually spoken to Prince William or Catherine. And I'm sure they didn't. But I'm sure he wanted to with this Eight of Wands. He wanted to talk to her. He wants this to unblock the situation with her. Because the Eight of Wands is about unblocking. It's about clearing the air and sending messages and being able to communicate again. That's what he really wants. What pressure is he under? We've seen pressure already in this reading, a lot of pressure. But what's going on? The Eight of Pentacles is the work card. That's interesting because he knows that he's going to have to work to fix this. But it's very unlikely that he will be able to fix it because the door has slammed closed already. That Ace of Pentacles. He would like to come back in as a working royal, Ace of Pentacles, but he can't. It's how is he going to get back to being a working royal? We have two eights here. We have the two nines over there, which is that penultimate energy of close to collapse. Now we have eights, which are doing energy, after sevens, which are pause energy, wanting to work, wanting to talk. He wants to get back into, I want to say circulation. It's not quite the right word, but he wants to get back on terms with her, speaking terms. He wants to get back into being a royal, the only world that he really knows and understands as far as his very limited understanding goes, in my opinion. Hopes and fears for Harry right now. And the Knight of Swords, has shown up, but in reverse. He is very worried that he's out. He's been cut out. The Knight of Swords is fast and furious energy. It's shrewd and strategic and intelligent and witty when it's upright. When it's in reverse, it's brutal, it's cruel, it's vicious, it's unexpected. It's kind of a stab in the dark. You don't see it coming and boom, there it is. And that has happened already. His King of Cups in reverse, his brother, has already done this to him with the royal website. And he's very worried about this, that there might be more of these surprise things, because the Knight of Swords energy is always surprise because it happens so quickly. And I think that he's worried that there is more to come. And certainly the Seven of Wands in reverse tells me that there is more to come. This is quite a justifiable concern on his part. So our outcome for has been current energy, current isolation, exile, loss, worry. How's it going to go? Is it going to improve somehow magically? And we have the Seeker, somebody who loses their head. It's the Fool energy. It's a fresh start energy. It's also just a card of naivety. that most important energy that's coming through for me of this card is the sense of, oh well, I can fix this, we can start over. I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, and trust that everything's going to be great. It's that kind of Candide energy, the best of all possible worlds, when everything that happens tells you that it's terrible. That is the energy that's coming through for me. That he really, despite the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Wands and the King of Cups in reverse and the Magician in reverse, he really doesn't get it. And he's going to carry on. He's going to carry on trying, I think. He's going to keep on banging away. Let me in, let me in. I can hear the fists on the door. He's going back to the UK in May, and he's already assured us that he's going to be in the UK a lot this year. He's been making plans. I think he's going to try and strategically weasel his way back in to being a councillor of state, get himself a domicile in the UK again. And all of that. He promised us that when he heard his father's news. I don't think anything's going to change, even though the royals have done their best to boot him out and lock the door and change the locks even. But the seeker here is telling me that he's just as foolhardy, he's just as naive, he's just as dumb and challenged. That's my opinion. It's unkind, but I try not to be too nasty on this channel. Sometimes it just sneaks through. But there it is, the eternal optimist that this can be fixed. And if you just pump out enough stuff, spend enough money buying ink, column inches in various newspapers and tabloids and things like that, you can make it so. There's the Magician, you can make it so, even though actually you can't make it so. And so going to press very hard for a second chance, for a welcome back into Britain. I don't see it happening myself, so don't be alarmed. I'm just reading his energy and how he is going to be seeing himself and what he is going to be doing in future. I don't see it working out, not with that King of Cups in the starter position in this reading, really, because that's the past energy that has caused all of this. So there it is. That's the has-been. The nasty distraction, to quote Hugo Vickers. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.